So Asus made a glass mousepad. It's called the ROG Moonstone Ace L. It has a couple of interesting features that does make it stand out. Now, glass mousepads aren't new. It started a long time ago with, I think, the SkyPad, and everyone kind of has one now. But this does have a couple of nice things that I like that make it special. First and foremost, it's thick rubber base. Now, compared to something like the SkyPad, it's not necessarily more stationary and more stable because it has this nice rubber base, because a heavy glass mousepad like this is not going anywhere. What this base adds though is a little bit of squishiness and suspension to the whole pad. One of my things that I don't like about coming to a glass pad from a cloth pad is the ability to press down your mouse on the mouse pad. Even though I have kind of stopped doing that to stop my mouse, I still like being able to press down on my mouse pad without it feeling like I'm breaking my wrist because I'm pressing into a hard surface, which is definitely the case with the SkyPad 3.0. Also, if you want to see a three-way scientific shootout between this, the SkyPad, and the Pulsar Superglide mousepad, subscribe because that video is coming in like 2 weeks. And there are some pretty interesting discoveries. As I was saying, this thick rubber base adds a little bit of swish to the mousepad, which means when you press it down, it doesn't hurt as much. It also kind of evens out and smoothens out a slightly rough surface, which is another advantage of this thick pad. That means the surface will be a little flatter and a bit more level with the earth when you place it on your desk, so you don't have to have the perfect desk to get it right. Another difference that this has is a unique coating. I'm not sure what they're calling it, but it is a very special coating that does one of a few things. One is that it supposedly prevents scratches, so it adds to the longevity of the mouse. Two, it also cuts down on the noise of moving a mouse across a glass mousepad. Glass mousepads are really noisy because it's a hard surface rubbing against a hard surface. There's a lot of resonations and vibrations that would usually be absorbed by soft, squishy cloth. So having this coating supposedly reduces the noise, and while my scientific tests are yet to be done, from a subjective test, it does sound quieter to my ears. This coating also feels very interesting. It's like kind of oily on my hands, and it also does one very interesting thing. It makes the glass mousepad grippier. Now, some people might be like, "Hey, isn't that dumb? Like, you buy a glass mousepad for slipperiness. You want it to be as fast as possible with as low as friction as possible. So why do you want it to be grippy?" Well, the problem with glass mousepads are oftentimes they're a little too damn slippery. And the Moonstone Ace L is still really low friction with low stationary friction and high glide. Okay, it's still super slippery and you get everything you want from a glass pad from it. But it is like 5% slower than the SkyPad or the Superglide pad. So what ends up happening is it's a little less jarring transitioning from a cloth pad, which does help it differentiate itself a little bit. Also, the Moonstone Ace L has like a tempered glass 9H rating, and it supposedly can survive a drop up to 1 meter unless you drop it at an angle, or you know, there's like a little bit of ceramic sharp bit that pokes on it, which is cool, but I probably won't be testing that anytime soon. And of course, it has all the advantages slash disadvantages of a glass mousepad. Extremely low friction, extremely high glide, a very consistent feel, a very flat level surface, and a very heavy stationary, stable feel because it's so hefty that it's basically not going anywhere. Of course, just like any other glass mousepad, it's not cheap. It has a Singapore MSRP of about 169 Singapore dollars. So if I did the math right, about 120 USD. Pretty reasonably priced for a glass mousepad. And when you factor in the fact that if you take care of a glass pad and don't get it all scratched up, it can last you way longer than a cloth pad. It's actually quite okay, as long as you like the feel of a glass pad. Do note though, glass pads wear down your PTFE feet really fast, and I found that I had to change the feet on my Viper Mini Signature Edition because I was testing this pad. But it's okay, PTFE feet are cheap, right? Anyways, subscribe.